करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Today is supposed to be the Gita Jayanti, the day which Krishna gave out this wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And we are so grateful and thankful to Krishna for that. We pay our respects to the text, also to the teacher on this day. And continuing with the study that we are doing on this important topic, the law of causation, the law of karma. It says, what I am today is because of what I did yesterday. Whatever I have pursued in the past is what I am today. An amalgamation of all that, aggregate of all that I have done in the past is what my present is. And when I see myself, when I go through my life, if I am satisfied with what I am today, then I would never want any change to be happening. But we do all experience that I wanted something to be changed, something to be corrected, something to be improvised, something to be altered in me, around me. And always we start from around us. Nevertheless, whether it is possible or not possible is a different analysis, right? Which is sensible to do, whether to put in your effort in the outside or you should put in effort inside is all the secondary aspect of it. But primarily, one thing is for sure, that I want to be changed. I want the change. Why do you want the change to be happening? Is because you are not happy with what you are today. Whatever you are, as you are, wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever you are not satisfied, you are not satiated, you don't feel that you are complete. You still feel the possibility for improvisation. You still feel that possibility that if something were to be changed, my life would be better. That belief is still there. That something will vary. What do you mean by something? Each one of us will fill in that gap of something. Something will differ from person to person to person. But the fundamental belief, which is universally experienced by everyone, is if there is something is changed in my life, in whatever I am going through, whatever I am experiencing, I feel this. So that fundamental question that comes to all of us is this: there is one aspect of me which feels that I am forced to continue to live a particular pattern. There is another aspect in me which anchors for improvisation. It believes in the possibility for improvisation. If I can fly like a bird, if I can run like a horse, the horse never looks at the eagle and feels why I am not able to fly. Nor does an eagle feels why I am not able to swim like a fish. I wanted to go there, and every one of them look at that full moon, but nobody thinks how life would be to go and see what it is to see the earth from the moon. They never think. They never look in that direction at all. Only human being feels the possibility for improvisation. Right. Now this question comes. One aspect in you feels, I want why I am like this. I don't want to be like this. And every one of us have this thinking. I want to find out why I am like this. What is has caused it? And answer will vary. One person will say it is because of the society. Another person will say it is because of your horoscopes. Another person will say it is because of your gene. Another person will say DNA. Another person will say this. We are not worried about the answer. See, depending upon the field of inquiry, answer will vary. But what Vedanta is asking here is, why am I feeling like that, first of all? Explain to me why I have this problem. You see, unless we have that clarity of why I am going through whatever I am going through, why I am like this, because of your parents. One answer. Now, Vedanta is not saying it is a wrong answer or anything, but it is an answer given by one group. And if there is a reason for what I am today, is that reason internal or external? And what law of karma says is, it says whatever you are today is your own making. That is the power. What you are today was made by your own. What is that power that has made you is what is known as Purushartha. Right? It is that Purushartha, that one unit of Purushartha, which is running along with you all the time, right through your life. This Purushartha is running parallel to whatever you are at any period of time, which is known as Prarabdha. So he is introducing these two words to us. One is called Prarabdha, another one is called Purushartha. So what is Prarabdha? Prarabdha is what is loosely translated as your destiny. What is your destiny? Whatever you are today is your destiny. I am destined to be this today. This is my Prarabdha. Now, Purushartha is how this Prarabdha got created. Who has caused my destiny? I am destined to be this today, but this destiny is caused by whom? There we go to the basic principle of law of cause and effect. The presence of effect is the proof of the presence of the cause. This is the principle. We have studied this earlier. Okay. If there is an effect, there has to be a cause. There cannot be an effect without a cause. Number one. Number two, the cause, the effect and cause are the same thing at two different periods of time. The seed is the cause for the present tree. Then the present tree becomes the cause for the future seed. And that future seed becomes the cause for the future tree. So, cause and effect are nothing but the same thing. They are not two different things. The cause has the effect inherent in it, and the effect carries the shadow of the cause in the backdrop. Cause has the shadow of the effect, and the effect has the shadow of the cause. Both exist together, parallel. Applying that rule, if you have to account for what you are today, today you are the effect. If you are the effect today, then the cause has to be suppose if you say cause is external, what is the problem, sir? You cannot do that. If the cause were to be external, then perpetually there is no possibility for any improvement. Nothing can be done. Because anything that you do to improve can be nullified, can be cancelled by that force. So perpetually you will be remaining as what? Enslaved. And if you are naturally a person who is designed to be enslaved, you should feel comfortable about it. If that is what you are, means you should be in that state of rest. We have seen this earlier. Coiled spring. You remember example. When you compress a 4 feet coiled spring to 2 feet, there is a resistance. Release it to 3 feet, less resistance. Release it to 4 feet, no resistance. Why? Because the coil spring has reached its original state of 4 feet. Now, all of us experience a state of pressure internally. What is a pressure? Pressure to change. Pressure for improvisation. There's a possibility to improve. My life can be better. Everyone feels that. No one in the world says, is there a possibility for improvement? No, sir. No more possibility of improvement. This is it. Nothing can be improved in me. There's no such thing. Everyone feels it. Therefore, law of causation says it cannot be external. Then what is you yourself have created? How have you created it? Created by your own actions in the past. So, the past actions of yours has created this present destiny. Is that all? No. Parallel to this, if destiny is a fixed factor, immediately we ask that question, fixed by whom? This is what I am destined to be. If you say, destined by whom? You can't say destined by God. No. Then what is it? Destined by your own actions, your own thinking, your own effort. So, your destiny itself is created by what? Your destiny was not written by somebody else. Your destiny is created by your own self-effort. So, your prarabdha is the effect of your past Purushartha. My present prarabdha is the effect of my past Purushartha. Then there are two factors playing in our life. What are they? One is prarabdha, another one is Purushartha. Effect, another one is the cause. The cause is the past Purushartha. Remember, that's very important. For my present prarabdha, past Purushartha is the cause. And what about the future prarabdha? Is the effect of my present Purushartha. So there is a problem comes. The moment you say there are two factors inside you, immediately there is a fight. There is a tussle. Who influences whom? Who is superior? It will come. The moment there are going to be two factors, immediately politics will enter. You want to escape politics, what's the only way? Like Tom Hanks, you have to go to Castaway. Go and live in an island, only you should be there. Then there is no politics. So long as there are two, immediately the struggle for power comes into picture. You cannot escape. Not possible. Now we ask this question, sir, which is this? So now these are the questions we have to answer, which is what he is explaining now in the text. Right. First is explaining what is this Purushartha Prarabdha relationship, is what this whole law of karma portion is. Right. So remember this. Prarabdha means immediately you got to qualify that. Prarabdha at what time? Right. If the cause is operating in the plane of time, effect also has to be operating in the plane of time only. Right. It needs a field, right? The field for the operation of the cause and the effect is the factor called time. In the backdrop of time only, these things are all happening. So, the moment you say prarabdha, you have to qualify prarabdha of at what point? My present prarabdha. How that got created. And there he analyzes. Read.
Page 280. Destiny is similar to your bank balance, and self effort to your capacity to earn or lose money, to credit or debit your account. Your bank balance at any point of time is the aggregate of all your credits and debits prior to that moment. Regardless of your balance showing credit or debit, your capacity to earn or lose remains independent of it. You could earn more and increase your balance, or withdraw more and decrease it. Likewise, regardless of your present status, you could put in positive effort and evolve spiritually, or indulge in negative effort and devolve. The law of karma goes on. Hence, it is your effort that makes the difference to your destiny. Few understand this law. They meekly attribute their success or failure to God, not realizing that God is merely the substratum of activity and has nothing to do with the nature or quality of activity. God is like the sun above. The sun is the source of activity. Sinner or saint draws his vitality from the sun. The sun provides them both the energy to act. The sinner in a vicious way, the saint in a virtuous way. Thus, beings act according to their independent nature. You cannot commend or condemn the sun for their particular deeds. The sun stands clear from vice and virtue of the world. So does God, though supporting everything, remain immaculate, free from the happenings in the world.
Now he is saying he's giving a simple example to explain the relationship between Prarabdha and Purushartha. Prarabdha is equated to your bank balance. Your self effort is the capacity to earn or lose, to make profit or loss. Your ability to earn is totally different from your current bank balance. They are two different things. Same way, in your life also there are two different factors that is playing. One is that Prarabdha, another one is Purushartha. If you are using this capacity of yours to earn properly, you earn. If you do not use that capacity in a proper way, then instead of earning, you will be losing money. Same way, you have the capacity to use this Purushartha. If you use Purushartha properly, what should be happening? You should be growing. Spiritually, you may be evolving. Says. What is that? That means your prarabdha should be diminishing. The force of the destiny, the influence of the destiny should be reducing. Exactly like as you keep earning more and more, your debts will get cleared slowly. As you keep depositing more and more and more, your loan amount starts reducing. Instead of the loan amount reducing, if the loan keeps increasing, that means what? I'm working, I'm doing business, but the loan goes on increasing instead of decreasing. Means you are not depositing, you are going to the bank every time only to withdraw. You are not going to the bank to deposit. If you deposit, it should. That's what he is explaining here in this portion. Yes. you continue to put in your effort in the direction of deposits, it should square off your loans, which is what we are today. Right now, my prarabdha, my destiny is in the negative direction. I need to change the direction. Means you need to put in your effort in the other direction. Or if you use your present effort in the same direction, and your prarabdha will get strengthened. If you have been living a life of indulgence, you continue to put in that use your effort in that same direction, then you are going to become more and more sensual in nature. Right? Now we have seen this example earlier. I've told you, this is where I gave the example of an illiterate. Right now you are in a state of illiteracy. That is your prarabdha. But your capacity to learn, capacity to get yourself educated is there along with it. So what are you supposed to do? Instead of using that effort to reinforce your state of illiteracy, put in your effort in the other direction. So you can exercise your Purushartha either way. Remember, Purushartha need not be exercised only in the direction of clearing your loan or earning more and more and becoming richer and richer at the material plane, becoming more and more disciplined and disciplined and disciplined at the sensual plane. In the spiritual plane, more and more evolving. Not necessarily. You can become more and more dead, and you can become more and more indulgent. You can keep devolving more and more also. Either case, you can be engaging your Purushartha. But there is a constant complaint. What is it? The power of this is too much, sir. Too much of a loan. There is 75 crores loan is there. One fellow. Another fellow comes and says, I have 27,000 crores loan. One person says 5 crores loan. One person gets tensed for 5 crores loan. Another person gets tensed for 75 crores loan. Another person gets tensed for 27,000 crores. All rupees, sir. Loan. And I meet all three fellows. I don't get any tensed. Why? Anyway, bank is not going to call me, no. They are not going to confiscate my properties. It's not my problem. One person says this, sir, I have tried my best. I have done so much of effort. I have worked so hard. I have done all that is possible. But still, God has written that on my forehead. This is the thing. That's what he says. Please remember, the understanding of law of karma keeps the concept of God that we have is thrown out of window. Because we believe God has a direct role in your life. But God has no direct role in your life. Whether the car meets with accident or the car reaches home safe is not dependent on the petrol. Petrol has no say in that matter, right? Whether it is the same car that meets with accident and ambulance comes and saves the life of that person is also moving because of that petrol only. Similarly, God, this God we don't want. So he gives example of sun above. See, it is the same sun that gives vitality to person who is taking out life, also to the person who is giving life. Vitality is not given more to this person or less to this person. This God we cannot relate to. Our problem is we can't relate to this God. We want God who says, I will favor you. We think God is also like our government office, people. You favor me. We like that person, isn't it? Whoever favors you, we like that person immediately. So, a God who is favoring us, we like. The one who is not favoring us, we don't like. But unfortunately, the role of God with reference to your prarabdha is nothing. But people keep on complaining. Now, what it says is, your life is going on changing. There's no doubt about it. The nature of the world is to change. That we have seen already in the book. Has already explained it. World means change. You are in the world only, no? Change. But the question is, the change is happening in which direction? The change happening in the direction of you becoming richer day by day, or you are becoming poorer day by day. But the fact remains the same. What? Either you are becoming richer or you are becoming poorer. You cannot be maintaining your status. There is no such thing. No one can maintain. Say, I am the same person, sir. That's not possible. That's a wrong understanding we have. He says, the first one we have is what? The first thing he is taking out of equation from us is belief that there is some external. The most powerful external agency that can have an influence on your prarabdha is the idea of God. He is not taking the parenting, he is not taking the society, he is not taking your upbringing, you are not taking, tell me your friends, I'll tell you who you are. We don't talk here. You are what you are because of your own thinking. It doesn't matter who is your friend. See, at the very, very preliminary stage, we will say what? Tell me who your friends are. I'll tell you who you are. This we will tell when you are in the preliminary. This is what I keep telling. You see, the subject has to get graduated. You see, in the initial stages, you study what? 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, 44 plus 97. Then you say what? Minus 44. Where is minus 44? Suddenly in mathematics, it will start introducing something called imaginary number. I say, number itself is imaginary. In nature, can you show me 1? Can you show me 99? Number 99. Can you show me? Don't say 9, 9. This is 99, sir. This is symbol. I'm asking you to show me where is 99. Number itself is. On top of that, we add one more what? Imaginary numbers. Then suddenly you will see A plus B. Sir, that is alphabets. Numbers you can add. How can you add an alphabet? If you add A plus B, what you will get? AB. B plus B, 2B. How can you add that? Higher and higher you keep growing, the subject keeps changing. And you go final in science, it says all calculations are just arbitration. There's nothing absolute. Now imagine that you tell that to a fifth standard student. Immediately he will say what to the teacher? Teacher, anyway, my father, who was doing a PhD in chaos science, he has presented a thesis on that and he has got awarded also for the PhD that all calculations are arbitrations only. Now, you have asked me to add 44 plus 44. Instead of writing 88, I have written 67. 88 itself, he says it is arbitration only. If it is arbitration, what difference does it make? Whether I write as 88 or I write as 67. So you award me also mark. The teacher will give one whack to him and call the dad and give one to the dad also. Isn't it? What is taught at the stage of 5th standard, 6th standard mathematics is totally different from the PhD mathematics. But the subject is studied at both stages is called mathematics. Remember, it's not that 5th standard, it is some other sub-object. That's why I keep telling you, we are studying the essence of Vedanta. So when you go to the essence of Vedanta, equations will change. Right? So don't come back and say, sir, you only said in that class number 21. Because people listen to that in YouTube. Earlier I didn't have this problem. I can say, when did I say that? And I used to escape. Yeah, I never said that, I used to escape. Now they say, your class is there on YouTube, you watch. I said, not torture that is. One fellow called and said, sir, the class, you only said that, sir. Check it out. I said, what, you want me to listen to my lecture? Cannot be, more torturous than that to anyone. Gifting that book to that author. Imagine, you buy the book and gift that same book to that author. You call it as an insult, or you call it as we will never understand what is it. I love to do that. Be an author, buy that book and gift it to him. Same book. It's so interesting. Now I don't have the choice. See, don't quote me, please. At this stage, we understand it is totally different here. Right? This is one. Parallelly, after 10 minutes, after about few classes, after about another 2 classes perhaps, I will be telling you, Prarabdha will get deleted on its own. After 2 classes, I will say that and explain to you. Right? Then don't say, sir, you only said, then this, now this, you guys are, this Vedanta fellows should never be trusted. They will never give one thing, clear. They will say one at this time, one that time. Remember, at different layers, the subject keeps evolving. And as it keeps evolving and reaching to the next layer, the previous layer becomes ignorance. Otherwise, you will get totally confused here. So, one hand we will say this, one hand we will say that. Now, how do you explain this? That's where Vedanta gives a answer. Remember, when we talk about Prarabdha and your Purushartha, I'll give another example now. The Prarabdha is like a disease. Purushartha is the medication. From one angle, okay. One angle it is, Prarabdha is your disease. And there are very many types of diseases we have in the world. Health issues, right? One is where it is a very simple problem. I have a fever, bacterial infection. Therefore, I have got a fever. So what is to be done? They give some antibiotic and take along with antibiotic some vitamin tablets also. Take it, take rest. It will get cured. One. There is another type of diseases where they say cure is not given, but your disease can be managed. Right? Some diseases, they say you cannot cure it. Like when they talk about this rheumatoid arthritis, they say there is no cure for rheumatoid arthritis, but we can give this micromedicines, and through this micromedicines you can manage the disease. That's about it. Disease management is possible, but cure is not possible. There are certain diseases which cannot be cured also, like common cold. Don't say, sir, I take this cold tablets are there. I don't want to mention the names. Otherwise, our editing department will be in trouble. They will call me and ask, sir, should we keep it or should we remove that? The editing department, I tell them, very easy. From the beginning till the end, delete. Editing is much easier for you. Piecemeal way. Common cold, there is, it will go by itself. If you take medicine, 1 week. If you're not taking medicine, 7 days. You want this to be happening in 1 week or 7 days? That is what it is. Certain aspects of Prarabdha, your destiny can be completely changed. Certain aspects can be managed. Certain aspects of it has to be just lived through. Now, the question comes is, who has planted that in my life? How did this Prarabdha come into my life itself, first of all? To which we say, God is the one who has destined. He has decided, in this Janma, you are expected to go through this, all these things has to happen. For all this they give. And then they give, another one they give is, another aspect they give is this astrology. In that planetary positions as this. So that has given you. That's all fixed already. Up to 40 years you will be in trouble, sir. After that only you will grow in life. It's already fixed. And this is told to that boy when he is 24. Right? Now what is he going to do? Second half of your life only you will be growing. First half is going to be real trouble. I said, let's start from second half, no then. It's all fixed. People subscribe to that idea. On what basis they say that? Astrology is another factor. We say one is God, another one we say is this astrology. What is wrong there? What is the problem with that? I'm not going into all the details of it, okay? I'm just giving you a basic idea of the nuances of it. I am not going to get it. Essential argument they give is what? For all these astrologers, what is the essential argument? Essential argument is, sir, you are on earth. Earth is made up of 70% of the earth is made up of water. Same way, your body is also made up of 70% water. Correct. The moon has an influence on earth. Correct, no? Correct. You can't deny that. Huh? Not possible. Factually, that is true. Okay. All these are facts, huh? These are all facts. Moon has an influence. That's why no moon day, full moon day, you go near the ocean, you will see the tide. High tide, low tide, all this is happening. If the moon can influence the water position, things of the earth, you being on earth, and your body is also having that similar things, you mean to say it will not have an impact on you? Perfect, right? Obvious answer is going to be what? Yes, of course it has to be. How can it not be? Then there is a fallacy. What is the fundamental fallacy here? Basically, influence is always mutual. There is no possibility of one-sided influence. That is politically possible. Scientifically, there is no such thing. It is only one-sided. It is always mutual. If moon has an impact on earth, it goes without saying, earth also has to have a corresponding influence on moon. Correct? Me being a person who is standing here on earth, getting influenced by the moon, then it goes without saying, I also should have the influence over that moon. You cannot say no. It is against science, against logic, against reasoning. Now, if planets are influencing on me, then I also should have influence on the planets. That's what Krishna says in the Gita. Parasparam bhavayantaha, he says. Mutually helping each other. So it is mutual. It can never be one-sided. Now, what is that factor? That factor is completely kept outside the equation in the study of astrology. What is that factor? That factor is what is called as Purushartha. In astrology, that Purushartha factor is not factored in at all. They see only moon influencing on earth. That influence here. What about this influence there? Which means, if he influences me, I influence him. In turn, he gets influenced. That influenced moon influences the earth. That influenced earth influences the moon. In this cycle, who has greater power? we are stuck in that cycle. Seed, tree, seed, tree, seed, tree. Same cycle we get involved here also then. Says, no other factor. What is that thing that influences you completely? Is this. The free will or the Purushartha that you have exercised in the past is what has created your present Prarabdha. If that is true, one thing gets established. What is it? There is Purushartha. The past Purushartha is my present Prarabdha. That means my present Purushartha is what is going to be my future Prarabdha. So, Prarabdha, present, Prarabdha, future gets cancelled. Then what is standing? Purushartha alone stands. The fixed factor is Purushartha. The variable factor is Prarabdha. You're all with me? What is constant in your life is Purushartha. Your Prarabdha is not constant. We believe it is Purushartha that is variable. Purushartha is not variable, please. Purushartha is constant. What is the variable factor? Is your Prarabdha. My current Prarabdha is this. But then what happens in our life is, now we go to the next step. So he has deleted this. Next question we will be asking is, sir, when I am going through a painful, unpalatable experience in life, when he is going through that, if you go and tell him it is Purushartha, you have that free will, he will say what? No free will. Ishwaran, it is easy for you to talk about it. But when you are practically going through, people say, when you are actually experiencing it, because he has deleted, there are only two factors, remember. In this paragraph, all that he is doing is, he is deleting the possibility of a third person, third party involvement. There is no third party involvement in whatever that is happening in your life. There is no third. There are only two. What are they? Prarabdha, Purushartha. Only two factors are there in your life. Your whole life gets accounted only with these two factors. Since there is no necessity for a third factor needed to account for whatever is happening in my life, logically, we don't go for it. Then it is a far-fetched thinking. In reasoning, there are certain parameters we take. If you can explain it with these factors itself, bringing in one more factor which is not necessary at all is not considered as scientific thinking. See, all that you need to be accounting for in your life can be accounted only using Purushartha Prarabdha. This past Purushartha is my present Prarabdha, and my present Prarabdha is. Now, in present, what is that? We have two things. One, there is Prarabdha in me. Along with that, there is Purushartha also in me. Which means these two things are running parallel. This itself is sufficient. Why do you need a third factor, he says? Because this is problem number one. There is another problem in bringing in the third factor. Let the third factor be anything. Let it be God, let it be planets, let it be anything. The moment you bring in the third factor, we get into one problem. That's what he is removing here. Says the third problem is any effort that I put in for change, a positive change, can never be in my control. All my efforts for wanting to change, wanting to grow, wanting to make my life better can be straight away nullified, squared off, deleted by the third factor. Because the third factor always has that final say. Final say is the third factor, right? I can say whatever I want. I can use my free will and wanting to make changes here, changes there, and all those things. But if the third factor is going to be the final, the decision maker, means my evolution or my devolution is not in my hands at all. According to the whims and fancies of that factor alone, my life is going to be. Then again, you cannot have a thing called the free will, Purushartha, in you. You're all with me. The moment you bring in the third factor, the second factor called Purushartha goes out of window. It has no meaning, philosophically speaking. Then again, also there is only two factors. What is it? Prarabdha, third factor. Only they determine. Purushartha doesn't exist. Then, what has caused that Prarabdha then? Who has planted that Prarabdha in my life? How come that Prarabdha got consolidated in my life? Bank decided, sir. You file a case, no? Imagine the bank manager decides what should be your bank balance. Every day morning he will come and ask the clerk, accountant, bring me all the bank tallies today. Okay, oh, this person is it. Put 50,000 credit. That person, no. 75,000 debit. Then this person. And finally he says what? Sir, finally I tallied the whole thing. Which means your bank balance is not in your hands at all. So your prarabdha getting decided by whom? It becomes a redundant argument. Your life becomes absolutely chaotic. And the very possibility, the notion of growth, improvement becomes an impossibility. If it is an impossibility, then how can you feel that? Imagine, freedom itself is an impossibility. Will you aspire for it? Is it? Freedom itself is not possible. That is what I gave the example. No eagle looks at the fish and says, why I am not able to swim like them? No horse looks at the eagle and says, why I am not able to fly? They don't. They just live their life as they are. There is none of them are aspiring for any improvement. You may say, sir, but then there is evolution theory. It happens, not made. There's a difference. It happens over a period of generations. By then, generations of those zebras or that crocodile, or you call it as this bird species or that species and this species, that species of generations had to pass through the same. And on their own, they don't. They don't make it by choice. They never feel that they are constrained by the lack of choice. They never feel it. No creature feels it. But all human beings feel the constraint of choice. We want more choices. How will you account it? Therefore, he removes the third person's involvement in accounting to whatever is happening in your life. Then what is the determining factor? Only two things are there, he says. One is your prarabdha, your current prarabdha, destiny. Another one is this. If you say the third factor, you are in trouble. You are in deep trouble of two things. Superficially, it may look fine. See, to say it's all God's will. Superficially, it is easy to say that and push off. And the third mistake we will be making is we will be injecting intentions into the minds of God. And say he is also another person who has certain intentions. Then how will you account for one like this, one like that? Why? You can't account for the current status. And you will be making a mistake of that superior being called God having certain intentions. Then you have to explain on what basis he is going to be deciding what should be happening in your life, what should be happening in my life. On what basis? Third problem. Because we get into these three deep philosophical problems, he is deleting that out of equation. One is scientific reasoning mistake. The second one is the third factor coming in will complicate the whole pattern. Even though superficially it looks fine, essentially we will be injecting intentions into God, which we have no business or to say that. We can't decide. We will be postulating that. Without which we can't account for why there is a distinct differences between how he is treating you and how he is treating me. Why is the case? Then he becomes partial. After that, you can't say God is impartial. Therefore, Vedanta, what it does, it takes out the third party's influence. There is no third force determining what is happening in your life. Then only these two forces. Now there is only two forces. What are they? Prarabdha and Purushartha. Okay. So very basic introduction for Prarabdha, Purushartha, bank balance. First one. Second one, if you want to remember the class, right? The second factor we have seen today is third party's involvement is deleted, right? And then if you say God, it is deleted in one manner. If you say astrology, then it is deleted in another manner. Depending upon what you are introducing as a third factor, we delete it specifically. But first, in principle, we delete the third factor. right? That is thinking wise. Then comes the second two arguments is with reference to, particularly with reference to God. Then I gave you another one example, which of course we just touched upon it and we are moving because he is not dealing with it. Therefore, I also don't want to dwell on it for a longer period of time, right? But essentially, there is one mistake there. We say that's where we took the example of astrology. So third factor is not there. Then we go back to only what then? Only two factors. So he's again from the next paragraph, he again goes back to those two factors only. What are they? Prarabdha, Purushartha. Right. We'll see that in the next class. Thank you.